Today we're going to take a look at a defense out of the 3-4 odd. To set it up, we need the linebacker to be blitzing on the left of screen, as you see here. We're going to base the line, pinch the defensive line, and that's all we need to do. We can spread the linebackers if we want. It's not something that I do all the time. Then we're going to make sure that we have our fastest defensive player at the defensive tackle position, which is normally a right end, a left end. Now here, I'm just using the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm using Vinny Curry. He's nowhere near the fastest defensive player in the game that we could use. Danielle Hunter from the Minnesota Vikings is the best, and I initially was going to show this with Hunter to show you how it really screams. But we're just going to go the other way around. And rather than show you how insane it is with all these like super fast guys, I want to show you that we can actually just do it with anybody. And that's what makes this deadly. So we put the guy in a spy, and then they snap the ball and we loop around and force a bad pass. And believe it or not, that is actually the worst example of this that we have. Now here they're in a 5-wide scenario, and I'm sending 3 defenders. I actually should be putting the right of screen defensive end in a QB spy because there's no threat of any run at all, and we don't need that extra defender blitzing. And as you're going to see later on, the QB spy is going to help any type of rollout, and even with Vinny Curry, we're going to scream at the quarterback. Now I know a lot of you are going to say that this is really cheesy and ruin the game, but I promise you this is not going to be something that ruins the game, even though really nobody's open other than a little drag route. I have a defense where basically we're sending 4 and getting 2 free. Now, it's not a QB Spy Blitz, but it is something that's going to ruin the game. So I had to release at least one of the 2. I feel like this can easily be stopped, but it is a little bit glitchy. As you can see, Deion Jordan, Seahawks. I mean, no matter who you use on the Seahawks, you're going to be screaming. Here's a scenario where he's under center and he rolls out. This is the one thing that is going to do a good job at getting away from this defense. Obviously, he rolls out really far, and I get stuck. And this is why we put a QB spy on the right end, because we send him right away, force a pass, and now we're gone for a touchdown. So we only need to send 3. And there's a lot of other things that I do out of this defense, like I will call pinch dog to press, and then spy the defensive tackle, and then know that I'm just going to drop back. So I'm going to have contains on the outside so that even if they roll out, I'm dropping back with a QB spy and they're running in to the contains. As you see here though, we're again screaming at the quarterback, even with the New England Patriots, who don't have anybody that's fast that we can put at that position. So there's a lot of different things, like I said, that you can do. You could probably run this out of the nickel 3-3-5. I know that you can because I've done it. And as you see, the lineman just doesn't recognize us. Now, if we use the Seattle Seahawks, obviously no matter who we have at that defensive tackle position, we're good to go. So here, what I do to try to prevent any type of rollout is I spy blitz the right screen defensive end, or not spy blitz, I meant bluff blitz, and then I have the outside linebacker in a QB contain. So I try to loop around with the idea that if he rolls out, he's going to get caught. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be the case. He didn't roll out, so I don't really know the truth. I was going to lab this a lot more, and then I just kind of stopped. And as you can see right here, we know before the snap that we're just going to drop back in coverage. We send that right side pressure. So if their thought was to roll out to the right, they're not going to be able to. We've got the contain to the outside, and now they're running for their life. So there's a lot of things that you can do to mix this up. As you see here again, I'm sending 2 guys with me being the 3rd. I'm only using Vinny Curry, and if they try to roll out, they're going to be in trouble. We can run a lot of different defenses out of the 3-4 odd, and here again, obviously, I just back up. I see that it's play action. This is the one thing that's really going to stop it, right? Here we go. I see it's play action, so now I just drop back in coverage. Right? Now I'm just playing coverage. I send the spy once they start to roll out, and that's the end of them. So here, we loop around, I get caught. But we've got the QB spy, we send it we're playing back in coverage, and they're done. There's a lot of things that can be done to stop this, in a sense of, if you're just going to run it the basic way, obviously they can run play action, they can roll out, but there's a lot of things that we can do on defense to counter that. Like I said, sending right side pressure, using the DT, with them thinking that we're going to be looping around, but we have no intention of looping around. We have intentions of playing coverage. Now, this is beneficial because I actually feel like lurking screen passes this year is a little tough when you're the linebacker. The guys get in your way. Because of the way that you get an animation for pushing and stuff like that, they'll get in your way. And I never use the defensive tackle, so this is a great way to potentially get interceptions once they run a screen, or at least be there to be able to lurk it. So let's go back here. I'm not quite finished talking, so we're just going to take a look at a couple more examples. Like I said, it's really just a mind game. Again, there's really nobody open. The one corner road's open. He's just about to throw the ball, and I'm pitching a shutout against this guy, just lobbing this, and I mean, I'm not even coming in on every single down. If you're playing regular teams, Seattle and Minnesota are the best teams to use. And as you can see, I'm using a concept that I used last year out of the 4-4 split, basically by dropping back, and then we can scream right through the middle. At times, it's really about having a double team once we drop back in the spy. If we see that, like, let's just say we plan on playing coverage, if we see that he goes over, then we can take a look, and if there's nobody over the middle, then we can scream right through the A gap and sack the quarterback.